Hi guys, welcome to a very introspective video of mine. Now, I am in beautiful Tofino, BC with my inestimable girlfriend Sim, who's behind the camera today, recording a video for a special occasion. Because I'm on vacation, I don't have my cats with me, because cats do not like going on trips very much, although there is something to be said for holidaying with cats, and maybe a good topic for a future video, but I have a little cat friend here, of course. By pure coincidence, I got a room with a cat guarding the balcony from pigeons. So I think that was very appropriate. The reason I'm here on holiday is because I'm celebrating a really important landmark in my life. It's 10 years since I became a business owner, since I took over a veterinary clinic, my first veterinary clinic. And it's quite a landmark that certainly warrants some introspection because it's definitely been one hell of a journey. And before we get too much further into this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and share this around with anyone who you think may find this interesting. After spending 10 years in business, I feel like I've learned a few things, and I would like to share them with you. Some of these insights have to do specifically with the veterinary industry, but some are more general. And I think this will be a video that anybody who is contemplating major changes to their life will find interesting. The first thing I learned after 10 years as a veterinarian and a business owner is that people are infinitely variable. Some are very, very good. Some are very, very bad. Most are average. Veterinarians are unique among all the professions in that we're the only profession that relies on altruism to do our job. What does this mean? Well, if you think about it, if you go to a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, you're looking something for yourself. Veterinarians are the only professionals you go to when you're looking for help for someone else. For your pet, for your cat, for your dog, for your rabbit, for your rat, for your sugar glider. So veterinarians are the only profession that really gets an insight into the distribution of altruism in the people's minds, in the public. Everything we do is dependent wholly on the people's sense of altruism. And so we get to see people who are utterly selfless, who will do anything, spend any kind of resource, exert any level of effort to help another living creature that's not even the same species as they are. And this is absolutely a beautiful thing to see and is almost hard to believe. And then we also get to see people who come to the vet mostly out of sense of obligation because they feel like that's something they should be doing, but are incredibly resistant to the idea of doing anything for someone who's not themselves. And then we get to see people all along the altruism gradient. But I think this is one thing that nobody ever realizes about vets, is that we get to see people at their best and their worst. And what we really do in the world is we measure people's altruism. Work with people who share your values. What does this mean? It can mean different things depending on whether you're in a position to employ people, where you're in decision-making capacity, like a business owner or manager, or whether you're in a position where you're joining a team, basically an employee or a team member. But I think it is so, so important to your sense of self-worth, to your productivity, to your ability to achieve your goals and your vision, to work with people who share your values. As a team member or an employee, what this means is going to workplaces where the work culture matches your values. Because the culture of the workplace is really going to determine so, so much about how you feel within it and how you function within it. As an employer or as a team leader, it is really important to assess the people that you bring into your organization and be absolutely ruthless about this assessment. To bring on only the people who share your values. And I believe that to be more important than things like technical competency, references, or really anything else, education, anything else. When I hire people into my vet clinic, I tell them they're joining a team, whether it's a receptionist, a technician, a kennel hand, or a veterinarian or doctor. We can teach people to do their job. We can help them develop their skills. But we can't teach them to be nice. We can't teach them to care about animal welfare. So what I always look at, what I tell my managers to look at, is hire people who have those values, who are nice, who are respectful, who care about animals and genuinely want to do some good in the world. And everything else is secondary to that. Technical skills can be learned. Proficiencies can be developed. Personalities can't be changed. And again, as an employee, sure, you can look at things like salary, benefits, location, those are all really important. But if you enter a workplace where the culture doesn't fit your values, where you hate the people you work with, or the work that you do, injures your soul, you're never going to be satisfied, no matter how much they pay you, no matter how good the location is or how good it looks in your resume. You're never going to be happy in that workplace. And maybe it's okay to be there for a short time if it's a stepping stone to something better. But it is important to be honest with yourself about where you're at in life and how long you're going to be there. So absolutely, I think working with people who share your values is absolutely priceless. And another way to think about it is that you spend more time with your coworkers than you do with your family or your friends. If you have a regular 40 hours a week job, you probably spend more time around the people at your workplace than anybody else except maybe your spouse. So it's important that those people are people who are not unpleasant to spend time with. Even more important if you're in a goal-oriented profession, such as medicine, where clinical outcomes can be changed by people very, very readily, very easily. And where most of us, for example, who work in a vet hospital, we're there to do a job. It's very clear whether we succeed or fail at it. And our ability to do so is so, so dependent on working with people that we can rely on, that we can trust, who will add to our abilities rather than take away from them. Like all professionals, veterinarians do a lot of pro bono work. As an example, in my own practice, I often work with individuals who are basically street people, unemployed, living in shelters, who often have rats or rabbits as pets. I provide healthcare for them on occasion. Sometimes I have clients who are on welfare who run out of resources when they're trying to take care of their cat or dog. I am very proud of the fact that while I never work for free, no client who is committed and who has paid for their pet's healthcare, in my practice at least, has had to put down their pet because they ran out of money. So once I have somebody who's committed and who's willing to put whatever resources are available to them into taking care of their pet, very commonly, and I think this is true for every vet out there, we end up doing pro bono work if they would run out of money before the problem is solved. But the only reason I'm able to do that, the only reason I'm able to take a tumor off for some homeless individual's rat, they'll prolong the rat's life and let that person enjoy the company of their rat for another year. The only reason I'm able to, complete a round of chemotherapy for a cat or a dog for somebody who ran out of money halfway through is because I get paid for my work, because I charge appropriately those clients who can't afford to pay, because I don't allow myself to be bullied or shamed or pushed into working for free just because somebody wants to not pay for their pet's healthcare. And this is incredibly difficult to do because people are really good at guilting vets into working for free. And every veterinarian, probably one of the biggest stressors of our life is people leveraging the fact that we truly love animals and truly are committed to animal welfare to get free stuff from us. So getting paid for your work is incredibly challenging in my profession, but other professions share this difficulty as well. And probably not just professions, but probably there's a lot of people out there who really struggle with their desire to help and their need to get paid for that help. But I think it is so, so important to get paid for your work, because getting paid for your work is what allows you to help those individuals who truly need it, and what allows you to be generous in those situations that truly call for it. I think this extends not only to professionals, but also to artists. A huge pet peeve of mine is artists who feel the need, whether it's musicians putting on a concert, that's probably the most common scenario, or a theater company putting on a play, who feel the need to say that a portion of the proceeds will be donated to charity, as if they need to justify charging a fee for what they do by giving away a portion of their proceeds to charity, when in reality what they do has huge amounts of value. Musicians spend hundreds, thousands of hours practicing, developing their skills. They don't make a lot of money. Most artists don't make money through what they do. Most of them have other jobs. So it absolutely drives me up the wall when these people who are incredibly talented, incredibly hardworking and dedicated, produce a product of value. They put on a play, they put on a show, they bring joy to people's lives, they give us something that we really want, which is awesome music. And then they don't feel like they deserve to get paid for it. It drives me absolutely nuts. So if you're out there, if you're a creative person, if you're producing something that people want to listen to, want to see, want to experience, you deserve to get paid for that. You should be paid for it. And you don't need to, if you want to sponsor a charity, if you have so much money that coming in from your art, that you have a wonderful quality of life, and that you don't need to work a second job or a third job to support your music habit, and you really want to support a charity, fantastic. I think the Rolling Stones should do nothing but charity concerts. Miley Cyrus doesn't need any more money. She should definitely be working for charity 100% of the time. But you know what? If you're putting on a show in your local coffee shop and you're charging people $5 to listen to you play, flamenco guitar for an hour, giving away a portion of those proceeds to charity is probably not the right thing to do. You deserve that money. You to support your art and support yourself. So whatever you do, always ask, how can I help? Always ask, how can I provide value to the people around me? But also, get paid for the value you provide. And the last thing I want to share with you that I learned from my 10 years in business and a bit more than 10 years in my profession is to teach. All of us have valuable skills that we acquire to go through life, whether it's through formal education, through work experience, through other forms of training. All of us have something that we can share with others who are on a similar career path, but maybe a little bit behind, whether they're younger, whether they entered that career path later than you, or whether their situation is just a bit different from you. All of us have something we can share. All of us have something we can teach to others. And I don't care if you're a waiter who's been working in a restaurant for a year and somebody new joins the team who maybe hasn't been a waiter before, or if you're a surgeon who develops new surgical procedures and who can demonstrate them to a colleague who can then take it into their practice. You probably have something you can teach people around you, and you should, because teaching is an active pursuit. It is something you have to seek out. Very few people will come to you and say, I want to learn, or you have an amazing skill set. Can you show me how to do this? Most people around you have something they can learn from you, but don't know how to ask for it, or maybe don't realize that they need to. So teaching is an active pursuit. Make yourself available, and soon you'll be surprised to find at how many people want to learn. The example in my practice has been mentoring new graduate veterinarians. I've been running an internship program in my practice for over 5 years, which takes in either new grad vets or foreign trained veterinarians who want to upgrade their skills to work in Canada, or older veterinarians who are transitioning from a different field and need to get upgraded on, say, cat and dog medicine, if they've been working with horses for their entire life. And I found this to be one of the most rewarding parts of my career. I started running an internship because I simply couldn't find vets who could work to the quality that I expected of them. And I was very frustrated in the fact that I just couldn't hire a doctor who would work to the standards that I set within my practice. So I decided to train my own. And sure enough, it turned out to be one of the most rewarding and useful and productive things I've done with my career. I have interns coming out of my clinic who, after a year of training there, earn more money, kill fewer patients, and have a better clinical success rate than doctors who've worked for a decade without any kind of structured mentorship or help. My own career has benefited from this. I did do a formal internship, which maybe like 10% of veterinarians end up doing. Even before doing that, my first year as a veterinarian for finishing vet school, I'd spend like one day every week or every other week in a big specialty hospital just volunteering, hanging out, trying to learn from the specialists who work there. And these things gave my career a boost that is hard to quantify. But I went from being competent to being excellent. And that is a leap I could not have made without the willingness of other people to teach me. Just remember, no matter what you do, no matter where you are in life, no matter what your profession or job is or your hobby is, you've got something you can teach. And it's worth your time to put yourself out there and offer to be a mentor. Because somewhere out there, there's someone, probably a lot of someones, who want to be mentored, who want to learn what you know, and who will be very, very happy to learn that from you. And I think once you start doing that, you'll realize how incredibly rewarding and just life-affirming it is to be a teacher and a mentor within whatever it is that you're good at. I'd like to thank you guys for sticking with me through this very introspective and talky video that lacks in cats, except for my friend over there. I hope there's something in this video that you found useful. Again, please feel free to share it with anyone who you think might benefit from my introspection. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And we'll get back to making videos with cute cats and useful vet tips very shortly.